right, listeners, get ready, because today we are diving deep into the world of generative AI agents. Those brainy bots that can actually DO things, not just talk about them. We're going to unpack how they work, why everyone's making such a fuss over them, and even see them in action, like booking flights and whipping up some seriously delicious meals.
Yeah, what's really interesting about AI agents is it's like they're the next step in the evolution of language models. You see, instead of being like a brain in a jar just processing information, these agents can actually, reach out and impact the world around them.
So they're not just beating everyone at chess in some digital void anymore.
Exactly. An AI agent is all about achieving a specific goal, right? And it
Mm.
uses these tools to interact with the world and actually make things happen. I like to think of it as the difference between, say, a brilliant chef who just knows recipes versus one who's actually in the kitchen cooking up a storm.
Okay, you're making me hungry already. But before we order takeout, let's break down what makes an AI agent tick. Like, what are the core components we need to understand?
Okay, so picture this. It's like a three-part recipe for intelligent action. You have the model, the tools, and the orchestration layer. And it's not just about the ingredients themselves, right? It's how they all work together that really makes the magic happen.
All right, let's start with the model, the brains of the operation. What exactly is that, in simple terms?
So the model, that's the core decision maker, okay?
Mhm.
Often it's a large language model like the ones you hear about all over the news. Now, this model can be, general purpose or trained for a specific job. Like imagine a master sommelier, but for, say, wine recommendations. And here's the kicker. The model isn't always trained with the agent's whole setup in mind, but it can be refined with examples as it goes.
So it's like giving the model on-the-job training, even though it's already super smart.
You got it. Now let's move on to tools. This is where things get really interesting, I think. These tools, they allow the agent to interact with the real world. Beyond all that data it was trained on, they give it access to like up to the minute information and let it take action to actually achieve those goals.
Okay, so if the model is the brain, are tools like the hands and feet of the AI agent? Like, is that what allows it to interact with the world?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. These tools, they bridge the gap between, the agent's internal world and the world we live in. And there are different types of tools that give agents different capabilities.
Okay, so let's talk tools. What are some examples, and what can they actually do?
All right, one type is what we call extensions. Imagine you're booking a flight, right? An extension acts like a translator between the agent and the Google Flights API. So it shows the agent how to speak the API's language, so to speak. So it can search for flights, compare prices, and even book those flights for you.
Oh, so it's kind of like teaching the agent how to use a travel website,
Mm,
but on a much deeper level.
precisely. And it's cool. Instead of having to code every possible scenario, we can just use examples to teach the agent how to use that API, making it way more adaptable and efficient.
That's slick. What other tools are we working with here?
Another type is functions. These are basically modules of code that run on the user side, so their device or their application. The agent decides to use the function, but it's the user side that actually executes it.
So it's like the agent's a conductor calling on the orchestra, which is the user's device, to play a specific piece of music, which is the function.
Yes. Like, for example, our travel agent could use a function to, create a nicely structured output of hotel recommendations based on the user's preferences. It's a way for the agent and the user's application to, like, work together seamlessly.
This is getting really interesting. And there was one more type of tool, right? What about data stores?
Right. So data stores are like giving the agent access to this constantly updated library. They tap into all these external sources of information, keeping the agent's knowledge fresh and relevant.
So it's like giving our chef access to a pantry full of the freshest ingredients and a library full of cookbooks, and they're constantly being updated with all the latest culinary trends.
Hmm. Exactly. This is where things like vector databases and R or retrieval augmented generation come into play. These databases store information in a way that captures the meaning and relationships, allowing the agent to quickly find what it needs based on what the user is asking.
Okay, so we've covered the model, which is the brain, and the tools, which are the hands and feet. What about that third piece, the orchestration layer?
Hmm.
That sounds pretty important.
Oh, it is. It is. Think of the orchestration layer as like the conductor of an orchestra, okay?
Yeah.
They're making sure all the instruments play together in harmony. It manages the agent's thinking, planning, and actions, guiding it toward its goal.
So it's like the executive chef who decides which ingredients to use, in what order, and how to combine them
Hmm.
to create an amazing culinary masterpiece.
You got it. The orchestration layer uses what we call prompt engineering frameworks, which are like guidelines or strategies for the model's reasoning process. They help the agent think through problems in a really effective way.
It sounds like these frameworks are the secret sauce that really takes the agent's thinking to a whole other level. But can these agents get even smarter over time?
Oh, absolutely. They're just like any good learner, you know?
Okay.
They can improve with targeted training. And we'll dive into those different training methods in the next part of our deep dive.
Welcome back. It's great to continue exploring this world of AI agents and all the potential they have to, reshape our world. I know. Last time we really got a good look at what makes these agents tick, and it's pretty amazing, right? How the model, the tools, and that orchestration layer, they all work together to give these AI agents the ability to think and act in such a sophisticated way.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. And like you said, we're just at the beginning of this whole journey. I mean, the technology is advancing so rapidly, and the possibilities, well, they seem almost limitless.
So let's talk about those possibilities.
Mhm.
Where are AI agents already making a difference, and what kind of exciting applications are on the horizon?
Well, one area where AI agents are, I think, poised to make a really big impact is customer service. Imagine, those AI-powered chatbots that can handle those really complex questions, troubleshoot issues, and even offer like personalized product recommendations.
That'd be a huge improvement over
Yeah.
those frustrating automated menus and generic responses we always get, right?
Oh, absolutely. You see, AI agents can access and process information from all these different sources, so they can provide much more tailored and effective support than those, traditional chatbots.
Yeah, I can definitely see businesses and customers embracing that kind of efficiency.
Yeah.
So where else are these AI agents making their mark?
Healthcare is another really promising area. Imagine AI agents assisting doctors with diagnoses, analyzing medical images, and even like creating personalized treatment plans.
That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Hmm.
AI and human doctors working together to improve patient care.
Well, it's becoming a reality. You see, AI agents can process huge amounts of medical data, so they can help doctors spot patterns and make more informed decisions. They can even monitor patients remotely, alerting healthcare providers to potential issues before they even become serious problems.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, that could revolutionize preventative care and chronic disease management, right? What about other fields? Where else are we seeing these AI agents show up?
Well, the financial industry is definitely another sector that's ripe for disruption. Think about it. AI agents that can analyze all the market trends, make investment recommendations, and even detect fraudulent activity in real time.
So we could have like AI financial advisors and fraud detectors
Yeah.
working behind the scenes to protect our assets.
Exactly. They can crunch numbers and identify anomalies far faster and more accurately than humans can, which helps us all make smarter financial decisions and stay ahead of those potential risks.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. AI agents are really good at like handling complex data and automating tasks that would take humans forever to complete.
You're exactly right. And that frees up human experts, right? So
Yeah.
they can focus on the more strategic, creative, and interpersonal aspects of their work.
So it's not about replacing humans, but about augmenting their abilities.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. What about the world of education? Could AI agents help us learn and teach more effectively?
Definitely. I mean, imagine personalized tutoring systems powered by these AI agents
Mm.
that can adapt to each student's individual learning style and pace.
Oh, that would be a total game changer.
Hmm.
Tailored instruction and support for students of all abilities could help them really reach their full potential.
Exactly. And AI agents can even assist educators themselves, right? By analyzing student data to, see where students might be struggling and recommend those personalized learning resources.
So it sounds like AI agents could make education more engaging and more effective and more accessible for everyone. But what about those creative fields like writing, music, or art? Can they be used in those areas?
That's a fascinating question, and the answer is a resounding yes. I mean, we're already seeing AI agents generate creative content, from composing music and writing poetry to creating those really stunning visual artwork.
Yeah, I've seen some of those AI-generated pieces, and they're really impressive. But can they do more than just generate that static content.
Absolutely. Remember, these agents are all about taking action, so they can go beyond just creating things, right? They can actually collaborate with human artists, musicians, and writers and explore new creative possibilities together.
That's such an intriguing concept, like this powerful synergy between human creativity and AI ingenuity. But, let's step back for a moment and talk about some of the potential downsides of all this. Are there any risks with this technology that we need to think about?
Of course, of course. Like any really powerful tool, these AI agents need to be developed and deployed responsibly. One potential concern is job displacement. As AI agents become more, sophisticated, they might start to automate tasks that are currently done by humans, and that could lead to job losses in certain sectors.
That's a valid concern for sure. So how can we mitigate that risk of job displacement and ensure that the benefits of these AI agents are shared widely?
That's such a critical question. It's something that policymakers, industry leaders, and really society as a whole needs to address, I think. It'll require a multifaceted approach for sure. Things like retraining programs for workers,
Hmm.
education initiatives that are focused on AI-related skills, and maybe even, new forms of social safety nets.
It sounds like we need to be really proactive in preparing for the changes AI agents are going to bring to the workforce. Are there any other risks we should be thinking about?
Another concern is, the potential for misuse. As AI agents become more powerful, they could be used for harmful things like spreading misinformation or manipulating people.
That's a pretty sobering thought. I mean, it really highlights the importance of ethical considerations
Yes.
in AI development.
hmm
So what can we do to make sure that these agents are used for good and not for harm?
Well, developing clear ethical guidelines and regulations
Huh.
for AI development is super important, right? We need to ensure that these AI agents are aligned with, human values
Hmm.
and used in ways that benefit everyone in society. That'll require this ongoing dialogue and collaboration, I think, among researchers, policymakers, and the public.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to use it, which leads us to the next part of our discussion. What does the future hold for AI agents? What exciting advancements can we expect to see in the coming years?
Well, the field is evolving so rapidly,
Yeah.
and we can expect to see even more sophisticated and capable AI agents in the very near future. One really exciting trend is the increasing autonomy of these agents. You see, as they get better at learning and adapting, they'll be able to operate more independently and require less and less human intervention.
So they're going to be like those self-driving cars we keep hearing about, but for all sorts of different tasks.
Exactly. We can also expect to see more collaborative AI agents working together in like swarms or networks
Yeah.
to solve those really complex problems.
So instead of just one AI chef, we might have a whole team of them coordinating with each other to create a culinary masterpiece.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And those AI chef teams, right? They could even collaborate with other AI agents, like ones that are managing supply chains, optimizing logistics, or even developing new recipes. The possibilities for coordinated action are pretty vast.
That sounds incredible, but
Yeah.
it also kind of raises questions about control and coordination. How do we ensure that all these autonomous agents are all working towards the same goals,
Mm.
and not just creating chaos?
Right, that's a crucial area of research. We need to develop really robust mechanisms for communication and coordination and conflict resolution among all these different agents. And we need to think really carefully about the ethical implications of those, highly autonomous systems and make sure that they align with human values and that they don't pose any unintended risks.
Those are really important considerations as we move forward in this uncharted territory. What other advancements are on the horizon for AI agents?
Well, another exciting area is the development of what we call multimodal AI agents. These are agents that can process and understand information from multiple sources, including text, images, audio, and even sensory data.
So our AI chef could not only read recipes, but also watch cooking videos and listen to instructions and even smell the ingredients
Yeah.
to create an even more delicious and nuanced dish.
Precisely. These multimodal AI agents will have a much richer understanding of the world, enabling them to, perform even more complex and sophisticated tasks.
This is all incredibly fascinating. It really feels like we're on the verge of this major technological shift. But I have to admit, it's also a bit overwhelming to think about all the potential impact of these advancements on our lives and society as a whole.
It's true, the potential impact is vast, and it can be tough to fully grasp. But I think it's important to approach this technology with a sense of both curiosity and caution, right?
So tasting a new dish for the first time, excited about the flavors, but also being mindful of any potential surprises.
Exactly. We need to be open to all the possibilities AI agents have to offer, while also being aware of the potential risks and challenges.
This has been an incredible journey so far. We've gone deep into how these AI agents work, explored their different applications and ethical considerations, even gotten a glimpse into the future. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one final question. What's the most important thing for people to understand about AI agents?
That's a great question. I think the most important thing is to understand that they represent a fundamental shift in our relationship with technology. You see, instead of just using tools, now we're creating tools that can think, that can learn and act on our behalf.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about this evolving relationship between humans and machines.
Precisely. AI agents have this potential to empower us, augment our abilities, and create, a more efficient and equitable world. But they also challenge us, right? To rethink our roles, our responsibilities, and even what it means to be human in this age of increasingly intelligent machines.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. It really underscores the importance of having these thoughtful and informed discussions about the future of AI.
Absolutely. This is not a conversation that should be left to just, technologists. We need a diversity of voices and perspectives to shape the development and deployment of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. All right, folks, that's it for part 2 of our deep dive into generative AI agents. Join us for the final installment where we'll explore the broader implications of this technology and discuss what steps we can all take to navigate this uncharted territory. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're in the home stretch now, the final part of our deep dive into generative AI agents. We've seen how they work, all those potential applications, and even some of the challenges they bring up. Now I think it's time to zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture. What kind of impact could these AI agents have on society as a whole?
Well, we're not just talking about small changes here, right? AI agents have the potential to completely reshape industries, like redefine what work even means, and fundamentally change how we interact with each other.
So this isn't just about like speeding things up or making them a little easier. We're talking a real societal shift, almost like when the internet came along.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. I mean, think about how the internet totally revolutionized communication, commerce, even how we access information. AI agents could have a similar, maybe even greater impact on, well, everything. How we live, work, how we see the world.
Wow, that's a bold statement. We talked about healthcare, finance, education.
Yeah.
But what other parts of society could be affected?
Well, one that jumps out at me is governance. Imagine AI agents analyzing those really complex policy issues, modeling different scenarios, even helping with decision making.
So like AI advisors working with government officials. Interesting, but kind of raises some red flags too, right?
Oh, for sure. The ethical side of things, the potential risks, those are huge. We got to ask, who's controlling these agents? Whose interests are they serving? Transparency and accountability, those are key. AI could definitely help governments make smarter, faster decisions, but got to be careful.
Seems like a tough balance, right? Harnessing the power of AI, but making sure it's used ethically, responsibly, especially in something as important as government. What other areas could see a big impact?
Creative industries, that's a fascinating one. We touched on AI generating art, music, literature. But imagine going further. AI agents partnering with human artists, pushing creativity and innovation to a whole new level.
So not replacing human artists, but actually becoming their partners, helping them reach like new heights of expression.
Exactly. AI could help artists explore uncharted territory, experiment with new techniques, even create totally new art forms we can't even picture right now.
That's pretty exciting. Sounds the possibilities are endless. But any downsides we haven't talked about yet? We mentioned job displacement, but other risks to consider.
One is that AI agents could, worsen existing inequalities. If access to this technology isn't fair, it could make the gap between the haves and have-nots even bigger.
That's a really important point. We got to make sure the benefits of AI are shared equally, that everyone has a chance to be part of this tech revolution. Anything else on your mind?
Well, yeah, the potential for misuse is a real concern. As these agents get smarter, they could be used for bad things, spreading misinformation, manipulating people, even causing harm.
Yeah, that's a sobering thought. Really shows how important it is to have like safeguards, regulations, ethical frameworks, all of that to guide how these agents are developed and used.
Absolutely. We got to be proactive about those risks while still encouraging innovation and making sure AI is used for good.
So we've looked at the potential benefits, the challenges, the risks of AI agents. What can we do as individuals, as a society, to navigate this? It's a lot to take in.
First thing, Got to stay informed. Understanding how these agents work, what they can do, what they can't do, that's crucial. The more we know, the better decisions we can make about their future.
Knowledge is power, right? What else can we do to help shape things in a positive way?
We need these open, honest conversations about the ethical side of AI. Got to involve everyone. Ethicists, policymakers, tech people, the public. It's on all of us to make sure AI aligns with our values, what we want for the world.
Feels like we're at a crossroads. Got to choose the right path for AI.
Definitely. And gotta be proactive about those negative consequences, job displacement, misuse, all of that. Investing in research, regulations, safety nets for those affected by these changes, that's all essential.
Line of balance, right?
Yeah,
Embrace the innovation, but protect ourselves. Make sure everyone benefits from it.
exactly. I truly believe AI agents can change our lives for the better, make our work more meaningful, our world more fair and sustainable, but it's up to us to steer it the right way.
That's a great message to end on, a mix of hope and responsibility. And that, folks, wraps up our deep dive into generative AI agents. As you've heard, this is just the start of a much bigger conversation. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and let's keep talking about the future of AI. Thanks for joining us.